Hey friends, thanks for joining me again. I have another ship with me video. These sales are from over the weekend and Monday. Today is Tuesday, January 14th. Sales have been kind of quiet for me, unfortunately. Usually January is one of my best months. I'm just going to try and be thankful that I do have sales. I have been actively listing new items on Poshmark, so hopefully that gets things going and my sales will pick up again. So the first item that sold is this vintage beaded necklace. And this is made out of some sort of real stone. I'm not exactly sure what. And it has a Native American look to it. It is unsigned, so I could not, definitively say that it is Native American made, but it definitely had that look, and it was in the, is it Heishi? I think one of you guys told me last time I sold one of these, and now I have forgotten. This sold for $68. It was listed a very long time, possibly over 2 years. I can't remember for sure, but a really long time. I'm excited that it sold for the $68 though, especially because I only paid $5 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $49.40. I picked this up at an estate sale probably years ago, actually, and I really liked it, and so I kind of hung on to it thinking I might wear it, and I never did, so I finally listed it, and then it finally sold. Okay, so the next item that sold is this beaded bracelet. These are also gemstones with this, what do they call this type of pearl? I can't think of it, not mabe, but anyways, a really pretty bracelet. It's stretch. It ended up selling for $30. This is one of the items I got at that estate sale where I spent $890, and I am still floored with how much money I made from that sale, and I'm oh so thankful that it just keeps on going and going. I paid $3 a piece for the jewelry at that sale, so that made my profit $21. I'm happy with that. I did have this listed a little bit higher than that, or quite a bit higher than that, but because sales were slow, I did decide to go ahead and accept, because that has been listed, what has it been now, 6 or 8 months. So I was eager to make some sales, hopefully get some momentum. Oh, let's see. The next item sold on Chairish, and it is this really cool vintage roadrunner statue figurine. It is made out of ironwood, and it's carved. I think this guy had a little repair on his nose, but he still sold for $98 plus a $5 packaging fee. And that packaging fee is in addition to the shipping fee, and the buyer pays both. So I think that's a pretty great sale. This didn't take a terribly long time to sell either, maybe a couple of months. So the total sale price was $103. I paid $6 for it, so that made my profit $75.44. I think that is great. I will package this up off camera. I always do quite well with those roadrunner figures, statues. I've had one that was like two or 3 feet long, and then I've had one that was like this big too, and they've all sold. So if you do see those at yard sales or estate sales, I would say pick them up for sure. The next item also sold on Poshmark, and it is a reversible men's Lululemon jacket. It reverses to fleece. Really a cool piece. I was able to find stock photos of this, and this had pretty great comps, but it had I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it. There was kind of like a kind of oil or grease mark on this side of the jacket, but like I said, it wasn't really very noticeable. But this just sat and sat, and I just got offers in this range, in the $30-$35 range, and this guy offered me $35, and because it had been listed either close to a year or right at a year, again, I wanted to get some momentum going, and I want to sell coats when it's winter so that I don't have to hang on to this bulky piece another year. And as I will be saying from now on, it is the season of sales, and I need to move through stuff so that I can have room for all this other stuff that I have bought and I am buying, and just kind of, you know, try and get or keep my inventory more manageable than I have in the past. It has gotten a little out of hand since starting this channel because I feel like I want to thrift even more to make videos, but then I haven't been editing the videos. So hopefully you guys will continue to see an extra video a week or every other week that's a thrifting video. I would like to try and focus on growing my channel even more. So speaking of that, if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything and it means so much to me. When you do that, it tells YouTube that you like my videos, and so it pushes my videos out to more people so that my, you know, channel can grow and be more successful. And I would just be oh so thankful if you could do that and give my videos a thumbs up. Okay, so back to this. It sold for $35. I think I paid $10 for this at the Goodwill. So that made my profit $18. Still just a fine profit, but I did anticipate more than that, and it took too long to sell. The next item is another item that I was hopeful would sell for more. It is a Carhartt coat, and it is the Detroit style with the collar, but this had personalization on it. And in the future, I think I just need to recognize that if there is personalization on it, I either need to take a stitch remover and remove the personalization, or I need to anticipate that the item just won't sell for as much because, and this isn't technically a vintage piece either, so maybe, you know, I just had my hopes up for no reason. It ended up selling for $50, and I'm not sure, but I may have gotten a higher offer in the past for this that I counter offered. But as of late, the only offers I have been getting on this have been $40, $45, $50. And to be honest with you, I just accepted that I was not going to remove that personalization and that I was tired of looking at it. So I accepted that $50 offer, which I think is just fine. Oh, so this is last week when I sold that kind of Aztec Western jacket. This was the personalized coat that I was referencing. That jacket was personalized, and this one was, and it had taken forever to sell. So that's why I just decided to go ahead and accept the offer on that one and this one. And I am not going to look back. I am just going to take that profit I made and put it towards something else. So let's see. I got this at a fill the bag type sale. It was for the Faircourt Rodeo Princesses, which is this weekend, and I talked about it in my video a little bit last week. My husband so because I had for those of you who don't always watch my videos, I had a hysterectomy a few weeks ago, and so I'm not allowed to lift more than 10 pounds. And inevitably when I go to this sale, I get a lot and my bags weigh more than 10 pounds. My wonderful husband has agreed to come and carry my bags for me at the sale so that I don't miss out on any good stuff, which I am excited about and thankful for. I hope he doesn't get impatient, but I did warn him that it would probably take at least an hour at the sale, and he said he was okay with that. Okay, so anyways, at this type of sale, you just put all your stuff in a bag and then you go up and they give you a price. It's not like a predetermined price for the bag. But at this sale, my average cost of goods ended up only being $2, so that made my profit $38. I'm happy with that. I probably should have just accepted the offer to begin with. I think I got a $70 offer maybe when I first listed it. Anyways, c'est la vie. It is what it is. But thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell this week, and hopefully my sales pick up. Hopefully your guys' sales are good. I'll be right back. Hey again, it's Friday and I've got some pretty decent sales to share with you. I had 2 sales on Chairish. So the first items that sold was a set of 8 of these vintage wine or water goblets. Whenever I'm selling something like this, I use all the words: wine glasses, water goblets. If they're like, you know, shorter glasses that could be used for juice or water, I put all of that in the title in hopes that it will help them sell because, you know, even if these are originally water goblets, someone may use them for wine or vice versa. These are Tiffin Franciscan, and I found that out by doing a Google image search. This set of 8 sold for $135. I thought these were really beautiful. I do think it's important to try and find out the brand of your glassware and the pattern. Because some people may be looking for replacements, or maybe their grandma had something that they want a set of, and if they look at replacements.com, they'll see how expensive a single glass is or a single plate, and that will really help justify having a higher price for something like this. So like I said, they sold for $135. I bought a big set of these with different sizes. Another size that was a set of 8, I think, already sold, and they sold in the $100 to $150 range, and I paid $25 for all of them, and I still think there's a couple little pieces left. So I put my cost of goods as $12. So that made my profit $96.60. As always, I have the Chairish Seller's Guide linked in the description box below, and my video about how I package and ship breakables. The next item that sold is really exciting. It's this pair of vintage duck figurines, statues. These have a celadon colored glaze. I was not sure about the age of these, but I thought they were really cool. They ended up selling for $193. For those of you guys who watch regularly, you may have seen the Thrift With Me video where I got these when I went to Arizona, and I paid $5 a piece for them at a little, like, it was kind of antique, kind of thrift store. So that made my profit $143.40. These did take somewhere in the neighborhood of a year, maybe 6 to 8 months to sell. I'm not exactly sure, but with that $143 profit, I am thrilled. Okay, I'm gonna move these out of the way. And I had a few sales on Chairish. The first item that sold is this fun vintage necklace with tassels, and this green stone is called Peking glass. However, this is plastic, so I put faux Peking glass. This is made by Avon. I don't always pick up Avon, but I really liked the look of this, and I was out of town. I think at the time I hadn't really found much, so I wanted to pick it up. It sold for $32. It took over a year to sell, and I paid up for this. I paid $8. So really not the best buy. The little pendant is adjustable, so you can move it up and down on the chain to kind of get a different look. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $17.60. Probably not really what I anticipated to begin with, but sales were pretty slow on Poshmark, so I was accepting reasonable offers. For my jewelry pieces, I typically use either the small flat rate box, the padded flat rate envelope, or if it's not a, fragile item, the what is this? Tyvek envelope. And I usually wrap things in bubble wrap and tissue paper or box them just to make sure that they arrive safely. The next item that sold is this really pretty watch, and it is sterling silver and it has these little gemstones. I'm not sure if they're genuine or not. And I ended up accepting a $35 offer on this. I did have it priced quite a bit higher. I think it's $69. And I know I keep saying this, but I have been feeling really good about just selling stuff. You know, I'm not saying that you need to give things away or that I need to give things away. I got quite a few very low ball offers over the last couple of days that I did counter offer. But sometimes, you know, you just need to sell your items. So I got this at the estate sale where I spent $890. I paid $3 for it, and that made my profit $25. Let's see, what's next? Oh, this piece. I think this is just such a gorgeous piece, but I could not for the life of me do it justice in the photos. I did add a video, but that does not show up as the cover photo. It is sterling silver, and this sold for $45. I really wanted to get more for it just because it was so gorgeous, but I did not see myself wearing it. So I got this offer for $45 and went ahead and accepted it. I did recently, so I had it photographed on a white background and on a black background. And typically I like to have my cover photo with a white background just because it makes my whole shop feel cohesive when everything is on a clean blank white background. But because this hadn't got much attention, I recently changed it to the one with the black background because I felt like it made the necklace pop more. And I think that worked. So like I said, it sold for $45. I also got this at the estate sale where I spent $890. So I paid $3 for it. That made my profit $33. I'm happy with that. I have tons of jewelry. I'm happy to move through it. The next item that sold is this teeny tiny little maple leaf charm. It is sterling silver. I think that's enamel on the front. I pick these up when they're on a charm bracelet and they're really affordable, or when they're just individual. And I usually take them off the bracelet and sell them individually. I may rethink that in the future just because of the time it takes. And initially I was being pretty successful with selling these charms individually, and I was selling them regularly, but that hasn't been the case lately. This did sell for $19, which I think is great for a little teeny tiny charm that I only paid $1 for. I think it had discounted shipping, so that made my profit $11.22. But I am trying to be conscious of my time in the future. And is it really worth my time to photograph, describe, list, share all the things for an item that I'm going to make $10 or $11 on? Probably not. So in the future, I may just keep them on a charm bracelet. I have tried to list charms in lots that are not on a charm bracelet, and every time I do that, people want me to sell a charm separately, but they never want to pay a good price for it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword what you decide to do. Of course, I'm not going to take down any of those existing listings that I have. So the next item that sold is this leather belt with kind of a stud perforated detail. It is genuine leather. It was in very nice condition. I don't know if this was vintage or like Y2K vintage or made to look vintage, but I listed it not too long ago, maybe in the last month or two. It did sell for less than I wanted, for $15. But like I keep saying, I'm trying, especially with items that I have a lot of, I am trying to move through them if I get an offer. I paid about $3 for this, so that made my profit $9. Again, do I want to be selling items for $9 or $10? I don't think so in the future. I don't think I should be doing that, even though I love picking up belts. Time will tell. You know, you guys know that I talk about things and I change my mind over time, and that's okay. We all do that. And I'm just feeling like I really want to be conscious of the way that I am using my time, especially when it comes to listing items, because I have so much to list that I really need to be strategic about that. I hope you guys are all having great sales and a happy new year. My sales seem to be down compared to last year on Poshmark. Don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell this week. Hopefully I have a couple more sales to ship out tomorrow, Saturday. Hey again, it's Saturday and I have 3 more things to ship out. I sent out 30% off offers on everything in my closet last night, and it did result in a couple of sales. They were a little bit lower dollar, but they were sales nonetheless, and things that I'd had listed for a really long time. And interestingly enough, one of the things was a bundle, and it was of 2 little charms, and it was another little maple leaf from Canada. I am surprised that I sold 2. It's to different buyers. And then they also got this little just Canada charm. And the bundle sold for $36.90, which is really great. They added it to a bundle, and then I have an automatic 10% off for bundles or of 2 or more. And I didn't, usually Poshmark does not do change on bundles, so I was kind of confused at first, but then I looked at it and that's what it said. So anyways, I think $36.90 is great. I paid about $1 a piece for these, so $2. So that made my profit $27.52. I'm really happy with that. The next item is this somewhat vintage fossil purse, and it has this kind of embroidered textile in there. This took a long time to sell. I think I just had it overpriced for what it was. Some of this like vintage line, so there is true vintage, and then Fossil came out with this line that had this kind of styling that was called the vintage line. Some of those styles can sell for really great prices, and I've sold them for over $100 in the past. This one was not, but I think it, you know, it had some kind of flaws and spots on the strap, and then it had pin marks inside. I just had it priced too high for the condition, but it ended up selling for $37. So I am just fine with that. I'm going to tuck this inside, and it was in general kind of distressed looking, which in the past I had had luck with selling distressed items, but I think the trendiness kind of that look is not as much as it was when I was selling distressed items a few years ago. But I'm excited that this ended up selling nonetheless. You know, something that I realized, I really like to tell stories about all of the items I sell, which, what do you guys think about that? I think I've asked before, and everybody seems to like my, or most people seem to like my chattiness. But I just find it kind of interesting that I'm so kind of nostalgic about the items that I sell. But whatever, that's part of what I enjoy about this business, is finding things and kind of what the potential story is behind them. And it does look like somebody really wore and loved this bag a lot before I found it at, I think I got it at the Goodwill. I paid $6 for this, so that made my profit $23.60. And I hope this buyer enjoys that for even longer, because we all know those fossil bags, especially the more vintage ones, are really durable. The next item was, I think, just a bad buy. It's this brand Hee or Hey Hey, sold at, or it was sold at Anthropology, and the jacket's pretty cool. It has kind of a military style, and then this kind of, I don't know what to call that, kind of tribal print on there. And if you look at comps, there are some older sold comps of this for higher amounts, but I think this is just a kind of older or dated style, so it did not end up selling that great. It sold for $17. It was part of the 30% off, and so was that fossil purse. But I am happy to move it out so it's not hanging around anymore. I paid $5 for this, so that made my profit $8.60. And I think this was one of those days that I was on a thrift high at the Goodwill, and I found something good, and then just everything seemed good, so I kept buying stuff. Oh, by the way, so I went to the Faircourt fundraiser yard sale this morning, and you guys, thank you so much for all your suggestions. I think it'll be last week's video where I asked if I should go or not, and honestly, I was really surprised at how many of you guys were just like, go, take a wagon, take a suitcase, take your husband, because I have all this crap already that I need to list, but not a single one of you said, maybe you should skip it. But I will say, my husband went and he carried my bags, and he was very patient and very well behaved. I don't feel like the sale was quite as good this year as usual, or as it had been in the past, but I did get quite a few things. I got one really potentially good lamp, and I think I will do a thrift haul, hopefully sooner than later. I'm just so behind on editing my thrift hauls, but you guys seem so enthusiastic about me going to that sale that I really feel like I should do a video. But the other good thing about having my husband come is he was very patient, and I told him to anticipate being there an hour, and we were only there, I think, 20 or 30 minutes. But the good thing about it was it did kind of help me stay calm and not just buy things to buy things because it's affordable. I got a lot of shoes and a couple of handbags, no clothes, which I'm fine with because I don't love listing clothes, and I need to be more cognizant of that. Now, I do have lots of thrift hauls in the works that have clothing from the past, and I will still buy clothing, but I just am trying to be a little bit more, realize what I do like to list and what I don't like to list. So I think it worked out for the best, and I think I got some goodies that I will share with you guys. Hopefully they have more sales. Usually they have multiple sales over, their term, the Queen and Princess, to raise funds. But it was fun anyways. It was fun chatting with the other resellers in line while we were waiting, and my husband so I did fill up 2 bags still, and he was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. I can't imagine you normally hauling this stuff around by yourself. And I'm like, yeah, and I usually get more. No wonder my back hurts all the time. Anyways, it was a fun experience, and I really loved your guys' responses. I haven't responded to all of them, but I will get to it. And yeah, it was just really fun. Okay, so it turned out to be an okay week, not wonderful, but good enough. My total sales for the week were $850.90. My total cost of goods was $79, and my total profit after website fees, cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $597.38. A far cry from my $1,000 profit per week goal, but it is what it is. I sold a total of 15 items, which made my average sale price $56.73. Anytime that's over $50, I'm thrilled made my average cost of goods $5.26, and my average profit per item $39.83. All great statistics, so I'm going to be happy about that. And thank you guys so very much for watching. As always, I appreciate your support so much. I know T-Bird hasn't made an appearance for a while, so I'll try and remember to add a little clip at the end, and I will see you guys all again next week.